Hi, everybody. Welcome. I know that right now we're going through an eclipse corridor, and eclipses can bring a deep intensity of emotion. So I pulled some tarot cards to see what you're going through. Holy, you guys are going through a major upheaval. We have the Tower. The Tower is a card of the foundations of your life feeling like they're crumbling around you. It feels like everything is falling apart. There's a feeling of blindness, like you don't know which way to move forward. It honestly feels like the tower was a situation that happened in the past. It's not something you're going into, it's a situation that you're still dealing with. There was a moment in your life where it felt like everything crumbled and all of the old structures that you used to live in just stopped working. It was like you had to rebuild from the ground up, which is what you've been doing ever so patiently because I feel like this is where you are now. You're at this moment where you've had this tree, this fruit of your labor, this new life that you've been building from the roots up. Like the tower will rip, like start from the top and it'll be a cascade that will rock the foundation of the boat. And that might be what you're still feeling, but you lived through it. You're now at the stage where you are rebuilding your new life and you're slowly watching it grow. You don't see the fruits of your labor just yet, but you're patiently putting in the work every single day. I feel like you may be struggling with balancing all of these different roles and responsibilities or desires and obligations that you have. And it could even be that since your life has basically turned upside down, you may not know what exactly it is that you're rebuilding. And you may just be moving forward blindly, like using your intuition and using your faith. You guys have really gone through a transformational period. I don't see this as like major things are coming now, like as in the sense that you're going to go through another crazy shakeup or upheaval. I see this as like, this is where you're coming from. This is the Seven of Pentacles of watching the fruits of your labor grow, but not being able to harvest them just yet is right where you are now. And the Two of Swords is asking you to rely on your intuition to move forward, even if you can't see the way clearly, even if you can't see the way of where it's going to bring you. I ask the cards to tell me what you emotionally need to know to get through this time period. There is, oh my gosh, you have you have the Two of Cups. So exciting. So I don't know if this means that you just started a relationship. Or, so this could be a relationship, a friendship, a business partnership, but this is Two of Cups is when you're sharing your heart with somebody. You're opening to them, you're pouring into each other's cups. There's a real vulnerability here. There's something that it's this beautiful flow of energy from one person to another. And we have the strength card here, which is an interesting match for these two. It makes me think of a couple of different things, and you guys can tell me what you think. I don't know if what you lost, what the tower was an old relationship, and now you're building a new one, or you're building a new life for yourself, and then all of a sudden someone comes in, or if this is like, um, yeah, that's kind of honestly, that's kind of how it feels to me. But this especially after going through something so difficult, it can be really hard to open our hearts and to allow ourselves to love. And sometimes that can fill us with anxiety and fill us with worries and fears. Like, are we gonna repeat the patterns of our parents? Are we gonna repeat the patterns of our last relationship? Are we going to kind of keep living in the patterns we've been living in? Okay, honestly, this just because of this relationship is bringing up a lot. It's bringing up some of it might be, it could be a couple things. It could be bringing up your shadow side, where you're having to unlearn patterns that you previously learned. You're having to rise above your basic impulses and try a new pattern, to start something and to do something differently. And this actually reminds me of like neural pathways in your brain and how, the only way to learn something new is to practice it, to repeat it, whether it's a word, a mantra, a belief in yourself. You have to keep doing the work. You have to keep practicing. And like, it could even be a period of time where you're kind of hands off and you're kind of just letting things grow naturally. This also comes to mind a feeling of after everything you've gone through, there could be a feeling of such strength, and it's a beautiful thing to be strong, but I wonder if it can lead to hyper independence at times because it's hyperindependence and not wanting to rely on someone. It's a protection mechanism, and obviously you've just gone through something really challenging, whether it's in the last year or it's still something you're feeling the after effects of. But what is strength walking into fear, knowingly walking into love, walking into this beautiful vulnerability, because it feels like what happened was a total restructuring of your life, whether this is like financially, like your home, but also just of your internal world. Like there was something that you previously identified with very strongly that you had to let go of, or that ended up crumbling in front of you. And this journey that you went on gave you such great strength. And now you might be called to trust another person, to take the risk. Love is a huge risk. It's a huge risk. And it might be the most worthwhile risk of all time. I feel like I'm speaking to myself a little bit here, but it's like after all of this hardship, this love, this relationship, this business partnership, this is fruitful. This is beautiful. This isn't something we need to wait on. This isn't something we need to dream about. This is something that is beautiful and pleasant and joyful in the moment. And this is a beautiful vulnerability of sharing two hearts together. I asked for the outcome of the situation. Oh my God, guys. Oh my God. Okay, you should go watch some of my TikToks because I feel like the message is really similar. The outcome of the situation, I love this for you, is I'm just gonna start with the lovers. It's the lovers. It's like the lovers is the choice. You can have feelings for someone, you can go on dates with them, develop feelings, but the lovers is the choice of, am I going to risk it all for this beautiful sharing of life and emotion and partnership? Am I going to give my heart to someone? The lovers is the choice. You have that choice. Are you going to choose to risk, heartache or whatever else it is to experience this love? Or are you going to close yourself off? Are you going to stay connected to your own patterns? The outcome of this situation is I think you're going to choose love. I think you're going to choose to walk into fear, to walk into something you don't know, because honestly, it feels so worth it. It feels so worth it because the outcome is the Ten of Cups. This is a relationship. So you went through this paralysis or this, decision, and then you decided, like, yeah, I'm gonna be bold, I'm gonna move forward, I'm gonna embrace love, I'm gonna reveal myself to someone else. I'm gonna reveal these dark parts of my heart and the light parts and the ugly parts and all of it. And there is a beautiful happiness here. It feels like whatever crumbled in the past crumbled so that you could end up here. The Ten of Cups is, a lot of people will say this is like a children and family and whatever. That ultimately is not going to be true for everyone because the Ten of Cups is ultimately your pinnacle of happiness, what happiness is to you. And that's the outcome of this situation. This is also, to me, this feels a lot like leaving behind childhood baggage. You went through an odyssey here. You went through quite a journey with the Ten of Wands. And now it's time to lay down your burdens. There was a crumbling of the tower, and now it's time to put those burdens down and to release them because you're no longer, you don't have to hold on to this forever. You learned everything you could learn. And now wouldn't it be so nice to be lighter, to feel light, to reconnect to your childlike self, not the childlike self that is marred and wounded and in need of healing and reconnecting to that child is so important, but it's finding the child that was there before the hurt, the child that laughed and loved and felt hope and had. There's also a feeling of childhood friendship. So I don't know if this love is coming from, someone in your hometown, someone that you dated in the past, or if this is just finally opening to this love, is allowing you to put down the burdens of the past, allowing you to reconnect with a joyful center because this love is so promising. This is so promising, guys. This is going to give you so much happiness. So much happiness. The wheels of fate are turning. Fortune is in your favor. Just because you went through a hard time, the hard time is not forever, honey. The hard time is not forever. It's your time to be happy. It's your time to fall in love. It's your time to know joy. Like, oh my God, I'm so excited for you. Ooh, this person is an emperor. Very sexy. I love it. They're very like, they have everything under control. This could be an Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, but it doesn't have to be. It can just be someone who is protective of their land, protective of their people, protective of what they have and what they own, and not in a way that's like, I need to hold on so tightly to everything, but um, in a way that feels caring and nurturing. And oh, he's so nice. So nice. And this doesn't have to be a man. This could be just a masculine energy in general. This could be a woman with a masculine energy. This could be a non-binary person, whatever. But it really feels like now you're learning a beautiful reciprocity, a healthy give and take. And this partnership that's entering your life, this is divinely guided. This is sent from your angels. This is you learning balance. This is you learning peace. Because it sounds like where you're coming from was not peaceful. But this is peace. This is protected. This is you are protected. You deserve to know life with peace, life with happiness. Thank you so much, guys. Please follow me, subscribe, and please in the comments, let me know, does this resonate for you? Bye.